The story opens with Emanuel rising from the water. Not long ago, she survived a terrible accident that took her mother's life. Later, she takes a train, probably heading home. While standing, her eyes fall on a quiet boy sitting nearby. His name tag reads Claude. They exchange a few curious glances, but say nothing. That evening, we see Emanuel's home life. At dinner, her father, Dennis, tries to start a normal conversation, asking about her day. She ignores him and mocks her stepmother, Janice, making everyone at the table uncomfortable. Then she jokingly says she's a lesbian, clearly just to provoke her stepmother. After dinner, Emanuel hides away in her room, filled with paintings of faraway places she dreams of visiting. From her window, she spots a woman who just moved into the neighborhood, holding her baby. Emanuel quietly watches her. The next day on the train, Claude saves her a seat. They finally talk and introduce themselves properly. Back home, Emanuel starts watching her new neighbor through binoculars. That night, Janice mentions at dinner that the woman next door, Linda, needs a babysitter. Surprisingly, Emanuel immediately volunteers. Her father looks unsure, and Janice is shocked since Emanuel never showed interest in children. The following day, Emanuel meets Linda. After a short chat, Linda leaves her alone with the baby. Emanuel awkwardly asks what to do if the baby wakes up, clearly inexperienced. Once Linda leaves, Emanuel plays some music but panics when it gets too loud, fearing it might wake the baby. She quickly turns it off. Listening through the baby monitor, she hears gentle breathing, but then, oddly, the sound of ocean waves. Over time, Emanuel starts helping Linda with chores like gardening and laundry. One afternoon, as she does laundry, she again hears ocean waves coming from the baby's room. Suddenly, water begins spreading across the floor toward her feet. When Linda calls her name, the vision disappears. It was all in her head. It's clear something isn't right with Emanuel. The next day, she visits again. Linda is feeding her baby, Chloe, but strangely, she claims the baby is asleep while still feeding her. Later, they go to Linda's office. Linda picks up a toy and, emotionally, says it was Chloe's favorite. She gets lost in her thoughts, showing signs of deep confusion. When Linda goes to rest, Emanuel walks into the baby's room and freezes. The baby is just a plastic doll. Linda has been caring for a toy, believing it's her real child. Later on the train, Emanuel searches for Claude but can't find him. When she reaches the last compartment, she imagines water rising around her legs again. Her mind is clearly unstable, haunted by trauma and anxiety. At home, her family celebrates her upcoming birthday, but Emanuel's dark jokes about dead babies ruin the mood. The next day on the train, she meets Claude again. Angry, she scolds him for disappearing without saying anything and tells him that if he wants to be close to her, he can't just vanish. Claude looks confused, not understanding what she means. Emanuel suddenly leans in and kisses him. Emanuel's moods are like the train she rides, unpredictable and always shifting. One afternoon, Linda is bathing her baby, the doll named Chloe. Watching this, Emanuel feels uneasy. Linda then says she wants to take Chloe outside to meet the neighbors. Emanuel finds that ridiculous, but hides it with an excuse, saying everyone nearby has caught a cold and it's better not to go out. Soon, Linda says Chloe is crying and shows Emanuel how to calm her. Emanuel awkwardly follows her instructions. Then Linda steps out, leaving Emanuel alone with the doll. After a while, the doorbell rings. Emanuel picks up Chloe and opens the door. It's her stepmother, Janice, standing there with a box of cookies. Nervous, Emanuel accidentally drops the doll. Janice doesn't notice anything strange and starts chatting with her. But in the middle of their tense conversation, Linda comes back home. The doll is still lying on the floor. Before leaving, Janice invites Linda to dinner at their house. As she turns to go, Janice picks up the doll, thinking it's just a toy, but it slips from her hand and falls again. When Emanuel bends down to get it, it's gone. After searching around, she finally finds it under the table, but while grabbing it, she knocks over a vase and cuts her hand. Linda quickly tends to her wound. The next day on the train, Emanuel and Claude make plans for a date on Friday. The same day Linda is invited to dinner. Later, she tells Linda she can't babysit that Friday because she has plans. Curious, she asks Linda about Chloe's father. Linda only says that not every man is strong enough to handle being a dad, and the topic quietly ends there. Friday comes. While setting the table, Janice complains to Dennis, wondering why Emanuel chose to go on a date tonight of all days. A little later, Emanuel brings Claude home and introduces him to her family. Janice, trying to sound polite, invites him for dinner the next week, on Emanuel's birthday. That night, Emanuel and Claude ride off on his bike, laughing and stealing a bottle of wine for their small picnic. They get close and share a moment of intimacy. Back at home, Janice and Dennis argue. Janice accuses him of always defending Emanuel no matter what. Angry, she storms into Emanuel's room to turn off the loud music. But through the window, she notices Linda outside acting strangely. Something feels off. The next day at the pharmacy where Emanuel works, she sees Linda talking to her friend Arthur, asking for medicine for her baby. Emanuel panics and tells Arthur to leave, probably afraid he'll discover Chloe isn't real. Linda mentions she's been invited to Emanuel's birthday and asks Arthur to babysit Chloe that night. But Arthur instead asks her out on a date, and Linda agrees. It's then revealed that Emanuel's birthday falls on the same day her mother died. Finally, the day arrives. Dennis sits with Emanuel and starts retelling the story of her birth. But she interrupts, asking about a dream her mother had before she died. He tells her that the night before the accident, her mother dreamed she was underwater but could still breathe. It was dark, yet peaceful. She saw fish swimming all around and felt happy. Then Dennis recalls the day she was born, the emergency C-section that saved Emanuel's life but cost her mother's. He gets emotional as he remembers, saying he's tried to move on. But Emanuel hasn't. She's still trapped in that day, trying to make sense of her mother's final moments. That night, during dinner, Janice makes things awkward by bringing up Emanuel's personal life. She tells Linda that Emanuel needs someone to love so she can finally heal from her pain. Janice even mentions how Emanuel often jokes about being a lesbian, as if that explains her behavior. The conversation soon shifts to Emanuel's late mother, Eva. Janice points out that Linda looks a lot like her, and that resemblance seems to have created a strange emotional bond between Emanuel and Linda. Deep down, Emanuel doesn't want anyone to come between them. Later at Linda's house, she gets ready for her date with Arthur. Before leaving, she says something odd, that the three of them won't always be together. Emanuel stares at the baby doll, almost believing that maybe it could somehow become real. She gently talks to the doll, saying this must be what it feels like to be someone's daughter, something she's always longed for. Eventually, she drifts off to sleep. That night, Linda and Arthur come back from their date, laughing and looking happy. Linda heads upstairs to check on Chloe, but Arthur follows behind. Emanuel tries to stop him, warning him to stay downstairs, but he ignores her and goes up anyway. When Arthur sees the baby, he casually says it's a beautiful doll. Linda freezes, horrified. In her confusion, she accuses Emanuel of hiding the real Chloe somewhere. Emanuel desperately insists that Chloe is real, but then she suddenly collapses and begins to have a seizure. In her unconscious state, Emanuel sees the same dream her mother once had. Her mother, Eva, standing underwater, peacefully holding baby Chloe in her arms. The baby moves, comes alive, and reaches out to Eva before everything fades into darkness. Moments later, Emanuel wakes up to her father Dennis's voice. An ambulance arrives and rushes her to the hospital. Later, Janice sits by her bedside and opens up about her own pain, how she always wanted a child but couldn't have one. Slowly, the story begins to feel like a web of broken women, each trying to fill the emptiness left by love, loss, or motherhood. Surprisingly, Emanuel tells her father she wants to see Linda again. Dennis refuses, worried it might upset her. But Emanuel secretly asks Claude for help. Together, they sneak into the mental hospital where Linda is staying. Inside, Emanuel gives Linda the plastic doll, Chloe, back. She gently tells Linda about her dream and what it meant to her. Then she takes Linda to her mother's grave. At the cemetery, they bury the doll together, as if laying their grief to rest. Both women break down and cry, finally releasing years of pain. Lying side by side afterward, they gaze up at the stars in silence. For the first time, they both seem at peace, ready to accept what life has taken from them and what little it still has to offer.
Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.